A question that's been coming up a lot for those going through the program is, how fast is this perfect pop-up? And it's a good question. And it is only answered by the wave. The wave you are surfing, where you're taking off, the type of break you are surfing. The wave dictates how slow or how fast your pop-up should be. So, for example, where I'm surfing here, this is the Tasman Sea you're looking at. There is this grinding left-hander a couple corners around here. It's a reef break. What works there is this quicker boom to my feet, get going. Whereas on the other side, there's a pretty good casual right-hander that could be this much easier, slower, more casual process. So the speed of your pop-up needs to change depending on the wave you are surfing, the surfboard you are surfing, where you're taking off on the wave. For example, where I live on East Coast Australia, I surf a lot of beach breaks. And they hit the sandbar and throw, and on a good day, you're dropping straight into sandbar bottom barrels. That is as super fast, as quickly as I possible, boom, caught the wave, everything's up and under me. Whereas if you put me on a really good casual right-hand point break and my timing and wave choice is on point, I can casually stroke in, boom, up and surfing. The relevance of speed is completely dictated by the wave. What is the wave requiring? Are you taking off in the right spot to where you have an easy paddle in and just casually get up to your feet because the wave is more of a casual rolling break rather than a surging kind of barreling bottom out section? It's totally dependent. Or is your wave choice not necessarily ideal and you end up having to scratch and paddle frantically as hard as possible to finally catch the wave, and then it's throwing and then you have to get to your feet super quick? These are questions that you kind of need to ask yourself and then reflect. Did I make the wave? Did I catch the wave? Was the pop-up clumsy or fluid? Okay, rethink it. What is the wave? Where is it breaking? What is the speed required? Where was my placement? Was I able to stroke in relatively easily because my placement where I was catching the wave was accurate? Or did I have to get super frantic and chaotic and stressed out and then bring all that energy into this weird process? These are relevant questions that you need to start asking when you start thinking, what is the speed of this perfect pop-up? It is variable. It completely depends upon the wave you are surfing. So what's relevant about speed, whether it be a much slower walk-up or this thing is about to throw, boom, quick, more of a pop and pull, the relevance and what's most important is it still puts me into that good stance, right? Little barrel, low crouch position, standing tall, those are just transitions of where this pop-up should put me. Do you see how that doesn't even change? Boom, ready to surf. So what's relevant, whether the speed is slow or fast, it's a more effortless walk-up or a quicker pull the legs through, what's relevant is it puts you into a really efficient stance, because from there you can start surfing rather than the typical pop, boom, backwards, right? So the relevance of teaching a slow walk-up is so that your brain can start feeling this is a relevant pattern. This is a pattern I know. My brain is familiar with this. It doesn't have to be as heavy and thudding and effortful as possible. It can be a much easier, fluid, softer process. So we start teaching it slower so you're able to recognize the pattern, start building familiarity and confidence. And then through training, when you're into the fitness aspect of this program, we start working on speed in the later phases. You're building strength through various exercises because those things support when you have to pop and pull faster and quicker and more explosively. But even if it's fast and quick and explosively, it can still be fluid. And it can still put you into that good surf stance. I literally yesterday had one of the top 5 surfs of my life on this right-hander. And it ranged from 3 to 5 foot. And I was on a little twin fin, Channel Islands Fishbeard. Great board. If you know how to surf a twin fin, that off-the-rack twinny is so good. So it's a right-hander, reef break bottom. So it's kind of a cobblestone reef in a sense. Those words don't quite make sense, but what I mean by that is that the reef isn't always super consistent, right? It has boulders here and there, so you might take off up at the top and it's this easy roll in. A wave might hit a boulder where suddenly the thing sucks up. So it was a variance of takeoffs throughout the surf. Always on my forehand, so pretty easy, but some pop-ups were my placement. I saw the wave coming in, I paddled up to the right position, I turned, and it was this 1, 2, 3, arch, boom. Easy, casual, slow. Other times, I'm paddling in, and I see this thing sucking up, and then it's this quicker, boom, where it's more of this pop and pull the legs through. Neither is wrong as long as it's putting you in the right position. And so I had an entire surf on a reef right-hander, and probably every single wave was a slightly different speed or effort pop-up. But they all have the relevance of what is that walking up process? Am I looking? Am I extended? Am I arched? Am I sliding things through into a good surf stance? That is what is most relevant, and completely just have the awareness that your speed of pop-up is judged by the wave. What is the wave requiring? And are you able to read the wave accurately as it's starting to break and being able to adjust your speed? Are you able to read the wave as it comes in and adjust your positioning accordingly so you can have an easier takeoff? These are all the things that converge into having a fluid, effortless, and efficient walk-up, pop-up. So to wrap this up, like I've said numerous times now, the speed of your walk-up is completely and entirely dictated by the wave. So if you are having failed pop-ups or going over the falls or missing waves, you need to start looking at each situation analytically. You just fall, you eat it, you start getting frustrated. Wipe away the frustration, look at it analytically. What went wrong? What was your mental state getting into that wave? Where was your wave catching placement? Were you way out on the shoulder and had to scramble and scratch? Or were you more in the pocket where it only took 3 or 4 strokes? Could you have changed your position in order to catch the wave at a more efficient place? Were you paddling into this wave in a nice extended posture, looking to where you wanted to go? Or were you freaking out, eyes laser beam straight down in front of you, I don't know why I just fell because that's the only thing I was looking at the entire time? Analytically, what was your ability to read the wave? What is your capacity? Is it a super shallow barreling takeoff and you're not at that skill level? That's going to create some frustration, right? Was it you getting too frantic mentally and that caused confusion and chaos? Okay, let's take a breather. Let's reset. Let's refresh. Each time you fall or fail is an opportunity to reflect analytically in terms of what was the issue? What should I do to remedy the issue? Is it a board problem? Is it a wave positioning problem? Is it a mental problem? It could be any of these things. So to frame that, there's a really good reef break that is predominantly a left-hander. And I was surfing this Channel Islands Fishbeard a couple weeks ago, and it was the first time I had surfed this on a left. And it was lower tide, and it was a smaller swell. So this left was breaking really fast. And I was having a hell of a time. Over the falls, over and over and over and over. I know how to surf. What am I doing? getting frustrated, getting irritated. It's embarrassing. I'm surf strength coach and I'm eating it over and over and over. So what did I need to do? Okay, analytically, let's look at this. One, it's a twin fin on my backhand and it's a brand new surfboard. So already it's backhand, it's usually a little clumsier. It's a brand new board. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. People generally have a little harder time on their backhand anyways on twin fins. So there's one issue, brand new board, feeling it out, what's going on. Second issue, so that was an equipment. Second issue, the wave. It's a low tide, swell direction's a little funny, so it's super fast. Low tide and a smaller swell, so really fast running lefts. Like, get to your feet, immediately pump. So there is a wave issue at play. Then, mentally, since I start eating it, I start getting really frustrated, stressed out, and self-conscious. That ain't good to start improving upon things. So what does that start making me do? Since I keep eating it, and it's a reef break, and it's shallow, and it hurts, now, each time I'm taking off, I'm only looking straight down. Because I'm seeing what the reef is doing, right? We know, I'm riding a bicycle. Look at the mailbox. Don't look at the mailbox because you're going to hit the mailbox. Stop looking at the mailbox, into the mailbox. So I'm taking off, looking down, straight down. Don't go straight down. Don't go straight down. That's a problem. I need to be looking and projecting down the line. So since I start only looking down, it's changing my center of gravity on the board rather than uprighting and lifting. So all these things start converging into me having problems taking off on my backhand, on this new surfboard, on this low tide, shallow, fast left-hand reef break. So I could have just said, screw it, it's this stupid board, this Channel Islands fish beard sucks. Or, analytically, what's my wave placement? What is the wave? What is the tide? What is the equipment? What is my mental state? So then, a couple days later, higher tide, bigger swell, up to probably 5 foot, on a little 5 twin fin, and I start rampaging success. And it's about, don't look straight down. Where's my timing on the wave? Where am I looking? And is it this process of bringing, I want to go that way, I bring the knees through that way, right? It's that pull through. Some waves were quicker, so it was more of a pop. Other waves were a slower walk up, but my knees, hands, everything going that direction. Now, since it's still a reef break, I'm still occasionally looking down in front of me. And this is something I told an online client just last week. It's okay to look down, but you shouldn't be looking straight at the nose of your board. You should be looking in kind of this meterage, square meterage area. So as I paddle in, I'm looking down the line. Then I start to take off. I glance down, not straight at the nose of my board, because if I'm straight at the nose of my board, I'm eyes down. If I'm looking at square meterage in front of me, my eyes are already up more. And then as I take off, yep, good, my eyes already then start going down the line. So it's okay to glance in front of you for a moment to make sure placement's right, the reef's not bottoming out, a coral head's not popping out, but then eyes are straight back down the line. But there's a big difference between right at the nose of your board versus a meter area. So rather than right there at the nose, maybe I'm looking there. I still can see what's happening right in front of me, but already I'm able to start judging what's going on down the wave. And it's this whole eyes up, head up, because then everything is uprighting versus looking down, don't look down, I'm going to eat it, oh, boom, over the falls. So long synopsis, very quickly surmised. Eyes up, look down the line, bring the body through, look at your failures analytically, and understand the premise that the speed of your pop-up is completely dictated by the wave, your placement on the wave, and the equipment you are surfing. And any failure you have is an opportunity to analytically reflect on your surfing, what was the failure, what went wrong, so then you can start making better choices, better actions, and then better actions and successful surfing, therefore changes thoughts, elation, happiness, fun, feelings. Good to go. Fix your pop-up. The speed of it, fast or slow, isn't wrong, as long as it puts you in a good stance and it's completely dictated by the wave you are surfing.